Let's see if that works. All right. This is on Firefox. I finally got it to open. All right. Um, let's ask some questions. Let's see. Um, let's. Did you get the answer to the rock question or the TNA question? That's what I need to know. And that I'll give it 15 seconds to catch up with you while I'm doing this. Okay, I did want to talk about the really horrendous Bella Twins thing. The really bad segment. Ah, you see me. Good. And that's my question. All right. Anyway, okay. The Rock question. Just in case you didn't get the answer to it. Awesome. Okay. The Rock question. Do I ever see The Rock wrestling again? Once again, you're really gonna hate my answer, but I really sincerely hope not. The Rock and Cena put on two of the worst matches I've seen in a really long time, so I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see The Rock in there anymore. He's just kind of lost it. I think it's because he's a giant balloon animal now. He's not really fit to be in a ring because he doesn't have a whole lot of movement. So, no. As for the TNA question, do I hate TNA? Yeah, no, I don't hate TNA. I just don't think they put on a superior product. I think they put on a very, very inferior product. It's bad writing, bad acting, but no, I don't hate TNA. I want them to continue because I love Austin Aries and I love Samoa Joe. I love those guys. The two questions that didn't get answered. And back to the Bella thing. I thought that segment was horrid. There were a few people on there for some reason on Twitter talking about how great Nikki did, and it was really bad. She was like a robot. You are not my sister. You are the worst sister there is. It was awful. I mean, I'm not saying that Brie could have done better because all Brie does, she's one-dimensional too. Brie just peppers the word bitch in there. I mean, she's Jesse Pinkman, and she is no Aaron Paul. She can't just pepper the word bitch in there and make everything okay. I mean, there are times where like Brie will do some kind of promo, and I'm like, did she just use the word bitch as a preposition? It's like I'm not even offended. I'm impressed. It was great, but it was, I don't know. The whole segment was dumb. The whole I wish you would have died in the womb was, I hated that. Um, I called it 3 weeks out. I said they were going to start feuding. Like as soon as they announced the Stephanie McMahon versus Brie match, I was like, Nikki's going to turn on her at SummerSlam. It's going to happen. Everyone's like, no, they wouldn't do that because of Total Diva. And I'm like, watch, it's going to happen, and it did. And then I was like, and then we're going to have to go through a Bella feud, which is going to be terrible. And so far, it's pretty terrible. It is pretty bad, but either way. So I don't know, man. It was just a bad segment. And a lot of people are, and the problem here is people are going to start cheering for Nikki because everyone cheers the more powerful person, and Bree's over there crying in the corner the whole time. She doesn't even try to make a comeback. And it just made Bree look really weak, and everyone, in the end, I think everyone did start cheering Nikki a little bit. It was kind of funny. Let's see. I did have the Reigns Rollins thing that they had a Reigns versus Rollins and Kane, and Reigns came in there and did his thing. He got beat down after, but then miraculously he's turning into Cena. They're turning him into Cena. He comes back, and it's kind of getting on my nerves, but it's going to end up being maybe Reigns versus Rollins and Kane at Night of Champions, and Dean Ambrose will make his return for the save, or it'll just be Reigns and Rollins, and then Kane will come in, and once again Ambrose will make the save, or last option will be Reigns and Ambrose versus Rollins and Kane. One of those three things is going to happen at Night of Champions, but Ambrose will make his return. So he's off filming a movie right now. But that whole thing was kind of like, man, it's like watching the evolution. It's like watching the evolution of Cena all over again. So either way, the next thing was Matadorus and Slater Gator. Didn't really care about that. I really wanted Slater Gator to win because I hate Matadorus. After that, we had Bo Dallas and Kofi Kingston, and every time I see Kofi, I just get mad because I keep thinking about what could have been. The Kofi Big E and Xavier Woods stable could have been great, but instead they've got Kofi losing to Bo Dallas clean after a really badly botched Bodog. So didn't enjoy that. But then we had Cena versus the Wyatt or it was actually Cena versus Bray Wyatt, and it turned into a triple threat with Big Show and Mark Henry, and there are several things that don't make sense in this whole thing. One, it was booked properly. Cena should have looked like a monster there. Cena should have done what he did. But I don't like that they chose Bray as the sacrificial lamb. So that kind of upset me. It upset a lot of people. But the thing that people don't understand is it needed to happen. Cena could have. I'll get to that here in a second, man. Cena could have buried someone else. It didn't have to be Bray. So that did anger me. And the other thing that bothers me about this was the Mark Henry and Big Show thing. Mark Henry started a program with Jack Swagger last week and beat the Wyatts and teamed with Big Show. Right now, Mark Henry is up in the air. I don't know what's going on. So all those things kind of culminated to make that a horrible thing. But the could have been thing for Kofi, Xavier, and Big E, the storyline's been dropped. They aren't together anymore. You don't see them together ever, except for at house shows. They aren't even mentioning it anymore. They haven't shown any clips from it. It's just dropped. They completely dropped it. Word is, from what the dirt sheets say, is that Vince McMahon dropped it because he didn't want a stable based on race. And that's essentially what it was. It was the three disgruntled black guys. I don't really fault him for doing that. I would have dropped it because I didn't want to rehash Nation of Domination. But they could have changed that because this would have been Nation of Domination with just much better people. Like, Nation of Domination was awesome, though. Let's see. Yeah. That's what he's saying, as what people in the chat are saying, true. He had to squash somebody. Cena had to squash somebody, and it just so happened to be the Wyatts. But I think it was the Wyatts because really they have nothing going on right now. Luke and Eric are losing to every tag team on the roster, and Bray, even though he's going over Jericho, the fans just aren't behind the feud, and it has been boring. It really hasn't been what it could be, but I think that's what's going on. I really hate it. It was just, I really hated what they did with the whole thing. So either way, make sure I didn't have any more questions from anybody. I had two more, but those are Ring of Honor questions. And I don't know if anyone here watches Ring of Honor, but I have to cover Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor is my place. That's my favorite promotion. They're number one in my eyes. There's no one who can top what they do. It's just, they're awesome. I mean, well, technically NJPW can, but NJPW is not an American company, and I don't get to see them but once a month. And now I don't get to see them at all because Ustream dropped pay-per-views. So I don't know how I'm going to get to see NJPW anymore. I'm hoping they come up with some news for that so I can share it with you guys. But as of a few weeks ago, the final night of G1 Climax 24, that was it. That was the end of Ustream pay-per-views for NJPW. I don't know. Hopefully they can get their own streaming system. Either way, I do want to get into Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor TV did in an hour what WWE couldn't do in 3, and that was put on a fantastic show. They only had 2 matches total, and it was better than what WWE has produced lately. Rocky Romero versus the Sicilian Psychopath was great because they're selling the Sicilian Psychopath as well as Psychopath, and it was a good 10-minute match. I liked the way they did it. After that, we had Moose join R.D. Evans, which I didn't really care for. It was funny and it was cool and all, but I don't care about that. The thing I want to talk about is that amazing 30-minute match with Jay Lethal and ACH. I called a couple of weeks ago that ACH would take Lethal's TV title, and I'm still calling for that because these two, I think these two really need a really good feud because they have put on, that was one of the best matches I've seen on TV in a really long time. A 30-minute draw. No one even won. They went to 30-minute draw. Like, when was the last time you heard of a time limit draw in wrestling? You can't. It's crazy. Good match. I mean, it was high adrenaline, high flying, technical, everything you can ask for. There was even a weird, almost like a botch when Jay Lethal kicked ACH. ACH did a backflip and landed on his head, and it was a sick moment. But he was all right. He finished the match. So, but leading to that actually led to these two being added to the All-Star Extravaganza in 2 weeks. On September 6th, these two have been added for the belt, and that leads me to the 2 questions that I had from my girl Gwen. She's really cool. She emails me all the time. She wanted to know if I see Red Dragon going to WWE. Yes, but with an asterisk. It's kind of a weird thing because Red Dragon is not really a natural tag team. They're fantastic together, and they're one of the best tag teams out there, but they're not a natural tag team. In fact, they've only been together for about 2 years. They are comprised of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Both of these guys are amazing singles competitors. I mean, absolutely amazing singles competitors. Kyle O'Reilly especially is one of the most underrated dudes out there. So I see Kyle O'Reilly coming to WWE quicker than I see Red Dragon as a unit coming to WWE. Bobby Fish is great too, don't get me wrong, but Kyle O'Reilly is just the man. He's one of the most underrated people out there. Next to Adam Cole, he might be the most underrated wrestler on the Ring of Honor roster. But so I see Red Dragon coming, but I think Kyle O'Reilly would probably be the safer bet on that. The other one was when do I think the belts will change in Ring of Honor and in JPW? The belts at Ring of Honor, Elgin will probably lose it to Adam Cole eventually, but it won't happen for a while. ACH will probably beat Jay Lethal very soon. Red Dragon, I don't know who they're going to lose the belt to. That one's up in the air. It's tough because there's a lot of guys they could lose it to. They could lose it to the Briscoes. They could lose it to the Time Splitters. They can't lose it to War Machine, unfortunately, now. Or they could even lose it to the Decade. So but they probably won't lose it for some time. They just signed a brand new contract to Ring of Honor, so they're going to be around a while. But anyway, the All-Star Extravaganza in 2 weeks on September 6th. The main event is Elgin versus Jay Briscoe. Pretty much the only singles competitor he hasn't beat yet, but Jay Briscoe's technically a tag team competitor, but pretty much the only singles competitor he hasn't beat yet. Next we had the awesome 2 out of 3 falls tag team title match between Red Dragon and Young Bucks, which will be insane. These 4 guys will go at it for, I'm calling probably about 30, 40 minutes is what they're going to get. And they deserve it because they're 2 of the best tag teams on the planet right now. They fought a million times, and they could fight every day for a full year, and I would watch and be entertained every time. Next we have the ACH versus Jay Lethal in a no time limit for the TV title. I think ACH could possibly win it here. That's what I'm thinking. And then AJ Styles versus Adam Cole, which will be a blockbuster, possibly show-stealing match. A lot of people that don't really watch wrestling, they don't really know TNA, they think because AJ Styles is from TNA that it's just not going to work. You know, he can't be good because he's from TNA. But AJ Styles is one of the absolute best wrestlers on the planet. He is great. And Adam Cole, like I said, is possibly the most underrated person on the Ring of Honor roster. So put these 2 together, and you have an amazing match. Last is Kaz and Daniels versus Strong and Jacobs from the Decade, which should be pretty great in itself because it's kind of a grudge match. It's one thing about Ring of Honor is they always have a story behind every match. I really dig Ring of Honor. But it's getting to be about that time. It's about 7:50. Sorry I had so many technical issues. It happens when your power goes out and then Google stops wanting to tell you that you're not online anymore. I think I was broadcasting for 10 minutes before I realized my internet wasn't even on. It happens because I didn't have my light on, so I didn't know my power went out. Technical difficulties, it happens, and it just so happened to happen on the first show. Awesome. It's okay. Things happen. I don't let that stuff bother me. I don't get angry because you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Because of this guy right here. This guy. I'm like this guy. I'm like the Hulk. I can't. I'm like Weatherman. How do I do this? There we go. I'm like the Hulk. There, that guy. Oh, and yes, these comics. A long time ago, I got something on chat that said, "Yeah, I like the comics. Yeah, these comics are awesome." These are actually not comic books. They're paintings. They're paintings of the famous comic books, like the death of Gwen Stacy, the first appearance of Wolverine, stuff like that. And then that's the new Origins Wolverine thing, which is cool. So, anyway, but I'm going to call it here from, as my friend Darren, not this Darren, one of my friends Darren, has dubbed this room Nerdvana. It's clever. Yeah. And if you want to reach me on Twitter, it's @-Darren. You can email me, smartcast@gmail.com. You can check out my YouTube page, YouTube user SmartCast. And of course, hopefully I won't have any more problems from Google. And you can catch me every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm not good with time zones, so you're going to have to figure that one out yourself, on geeky.com. Thank you for watching. I am Darren. This is the SmartCast.